Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek with an open box video for you, and I'm going to start with a couple of coins that I wasn't going to show you originally, uh, just because I just wasn't going to show you, right? So this is a couple of the W quarters that a customer got graded 2020, the year of the bat, of course. But the reason I'm showing you this is because um, I had a customer send these in. And they graded all of these coins with Washington's head facing forward, even though, the design and the dates on the other side of these coins. And I think in the past when I've had these graded, they've put the design out front and not Washington. So I'm really curious about this. For those of you who don't know, this is someone who went ahead and was finding coins and change. There's a very limited number of W mint mark coins that the mint is producing. There's the little W mint mark right there, and so you can find them in change. It's kind of fun. They call it the Great American Coin Hunt, and I will say I'm pretty intrigued at the way they've just jammed everything on these labels here. And then also there's this W mint mark with the V75 that was on some of the coins there from 2020. So kind of interesting. These weren't here for the grade necessarily. I'm just curious if some of you bought these and if the Washington side was up or not, because in my mind the Washington side should not be up. All right, now on to our regularly scheduled program, where I've got a couple fun things to show to you today. So the first two coins I'm going to show you are coins that I bought raw. And basically I bought them as gem-unk coins, and so what that means from the vernacular that I was raised with is that I need these coins to come back MS65 just to kind of, to be able to come out on the positive side of things. So let's go ahead and set the table for failure here. MS64. This coin, I thought it was kind of a lock, really. I mean, it's really a lovely coin. Big open fields, a lot of little contact marks, but visually a nice strong strike. Really pretty coin. I didn't see anything on here that really made me think it wasn't going to grade out to 65. I will say that the only thing it has going against it is that it's a 79S. Your more common date dollars are the ones that are more likely to get kind of beat up. Your 81S, 79S, they're really tough on those. So both of these, there's two of them. And this coin I'm going to force myself to make money on because it's really a pretty coin. And you can see, it has a PL look to it. Now this side, the reverse, has more of that, how would you put this? The way that the roller marks here show up on the planchets when the planchets are being made. So it's got this like PL look. You see all those roller lines there? It's got that PL look, that proof-like look that is easy for you to say. The proof-like look that you don't see it at every angle. So like at this angle, it doesn't really pop up, but then in the light source, it's like, oh yeah, look at that. That's different than this side of the coin, which is just like every angle you move at, you're going to get PL, a strong PL. And of course, proof-like fields, they take hits very poorly. In other words, if you get hits on the proof-like field, they just pop up. So the good news is this coin didn't make the grade either. Not only that, this is like double disappointment because I thought even with the contact marks, this could make a 5. And I thought certainly it could PL, but definitely it'll get a star. Look at the front of this coin. Like, what am I missing about the practice of putting stars on coins that are proof-like on one side and not the other? Now, I've had a lot of NGC Morgans come back with stars upon theirs, right? Because they were the best sneeches on the beaches. So, but this guy did not. So you must have gone through that star off machine. I'll tell you what, I am going to still price this coin as though it should have a star on it. It's not going to go out the door at a straight MS64 price. And y'all can see why. Someone's going to buy that coin and they're going to love that coin because the coin's beautiful. What are you going to do? Next up, I have a Morgan that was white on one side and not the other. Now, this Morgan was in with a group of Morgans that had a lot of toning to them. And here's what's kind of interesting. All of the other ones that I sent in came back straight grades. In other words, they called the toning original. This one they called artificial toning. Now what I like about this, and I'll say this out loud, is that NGC said artificial toning. They didn't say questionable color. That cop-out move that's been happening over the last half decade or whenever they started doing that. They just said, no, this is not right. We don't like this toning. And I'm not going to argue that here. I'm just going to say I don't mind when they actually call it out as artificial toning. I prefer that they take a stand on something, right? I mean, that's why you're there. One of the reasons I believe that they're going to call this artificial toning, whether it is or not, that's not the point. The point is, when you see those like little white spots in the middle of the toning, you see how there's little white spots that look like water droplets almost? That is something that is often an indication that a coin has been artificially toned, like some type of chemical reaction was done to the coin to get it to be that color. Now, one of the main reasons, like if I just saw this coin and didn't know the history, I probably would have said the same thing. I'm like, that doesn't look real. The only reason I thought this coin was original was because it was with a group of coins that already had come back as original. So, but they don't have that history, and so I get it. I get why they're calling that one artificial. Next up, we're going to switch gears for all you type collectors out there. All you cool cats. This is an 1866 3-cent nickel. Now, one of the things that you'll notice about this coin is that there's a big flat spot over the center of the coin where the hair should be. And when you look at the back of the coin, you're going to see kind of the similar thing here. Those columns. And so this is where, when you're grading coins, you need to understand what you're looking at as far as strike goes, because the coin itself is fully lustrous, really generally mark free, and of course they do tend to take strike into account when they grade, which is something I've kind of argued against in my videos, and but just be aware that they can ding you for softly struck coins as far as the overall grade goes. That's another video for another day, talking about strike issues. And this coin, though, Mint State 62, this is actually pretty close to how I think I just had it priced as a 63 originally. That's a coin that's probably in the market, maybe up to a couple $100. Once again, just talking about how the market is in type coins. This coin is much less expensive than it is scarce. In other words, it's a lot harder to go find these coins, especially raw. To find a nice UNC 3-cent piece raw, very difficult. Now, it does have a little spot there on the N in United. Most of the rest of the alloy is really nice. I say alloy because generally nickel is one of the hardest coins to get spot free and also to get a nice strike on, but also to get lustrous. Like sometimes these coins come kind of dull. This one's pretty nice looking piece overall. All right, and we get to end here on a not a high note. Don't worry. I know some of you were concerned I was going to say we're going to end on a high note. All right, so I sent in a couple of cents that I really liked that were just raw in an album, and once you get to the 30s, you start getting into coins that are a little bit easier to find, especially the latter date 30s. But the early 30s are kind of tough. You got that 31S, which is a key date. And then you have some of those early Denver, like 31, 32, 33 Denver, which are really hard to get attractive coins, especially in nicer grades. And so I got in this 33D, and then I got in this 32D. And so these two coins were both from right next to each other in an album. I mean, obviously there was some filaments there too, so you guys that get super technical are going to bust me on that. But the coins have a little bit of a similar look to them. You know, if you look at them, just, you know, they both have a little bit of a glossy sheen from the album that they were in. And then this one, I really loved this coin because I was like, oh man, I don't even know what color that is. I should ask my wife. Look at that. This actually reminds me of those really expensive cars that go down the street, and then you're at one angle, you're like, oh look, it's blue. Wait, it's purple. Wait, it's orange. What color is that? It's like color shifting. So I was kind of in love with this coin. I'm not gonna lie. So the 32D and 33D, both out of the same album, right next to each other, right? Beautiful coins. MS64 brown and Unk details altered color. You know, so I got two altered colors. No, I got artificial toning on one here, and then an altered color on the other one. I will say this one, this is, I think, is not correct. You know, and once again, these guys, they're looking at coins in a vacuum, right? So they're just looking at coins in front of them. There's no history, and I understand it can be difficult to tell a coin that's been like sulfur treated or something versus one that's original. But I'm a really big fan of this coin that says altered color on it. In the meantime, the value proposition on this 33D, you know, it's not an expensive coin. It was going to be, I thought it would come back a little bit closer to like a 65 red brown, especially the reverse, which is, you know, 80% plus red. The obverse is a little bit more like 80% brown, so I understand them just calling it a brown. You know, they're not going to grade both sides of the coin. So, you know, and these coins, like I said, you know, the price guides are all just guides. They're there to help you along. The marketplace can be different from coin to coin because no two coins are actually the same, especially when you look at the overall eye appeal of a coin. This one's just a kind of a shame because, you know, it's going to be a difficult. I'm going to have to find someone who loves the coin as much as I do, because you know, once they call it altered color, it's like the scarlet letter. Only scarlet letter is probably artificial toning. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I've been the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.